It never gets old.
Never gets old.
That never gets old.
Never
I try to get new clips, but I'm always freaking late. And I love like about that, man.
That's an earworm, man. That is an earworm.
No, it just reminds me how they destroyed Boba.
I know, right?
Well, we're trying to be optimistic here, Anthony. Come on now.
Are we?
This is the summary how the Book of Boba Fett went.
Right.
Like but welcome everyone. Good evening. It's 7:35 p.m. Eastern time tonight, and we have full panels you can see on another episode of Between Collectors, and this is episode 15 episodes, man, because
15.
last week I couldn't make it, so I was sick like twice. And the funny thing is, like, I usually don't get sick, and so far this year I got sick twice in 3 months, twice.
Damn.
So I don't know if it's good, man, but but I'm here, so I want to say hi to my boy Anthony from Six Skull Mafia in the house. What's up, my friend?
What's going on, buddy? How you doing tonight?
Good, man. It's been a long time. I feel like it's been a long time with all these gentlemen.
I know. Well, I mean, I know you were sick, and then when there was a couple delay,
Cancellations
postponements and things. Yeah, man. It's always good to be here. You know that, brother.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back on track slowly, but just bear with me. I'm gonna get there. WILLFOXIFICATION. What's up, my friend? Welcome, Dr. Will.
Dude, Dante, I'm so glad to be back, man. It's been so long. I've missed you so much, man, because I've been sending you postcards. All they say is, I miss you, Dante, and I never got a reply.
Oh, those were the flowers? Those were the flowers?
The flowers were for me. So they came for me. But, dude, happy to be back, man. And, it's going to be a blast, man. We got an amazing panel. You assembled the Avengers here tonight.
The Avengers,
so.
We have a mix of experience and newcomers here. But, happy birthday, my friend. I know your birthday was yesterday.
Thanks, man. Yeah, 31 years young. I know I look like I'm like 24,
Hit
25.
the applause, man. Hit the applause.
Oh, yeah, let me applaud myself. Yeah, I'm like 24, 25 in looks, but I'm 31 in actual.
31.
I'll take it as a win. But thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I'm almost 12 years older, or 12 years older than you. Almost.
Really? So what? You're 37 because I'm 25.
Yeah,
right?
pretty much.
There it is.
The month is all fucked up, but
just let me believe it.
Yeah, I know. And we have one of the loyal members and loyal follower of the channel, Andrew James, in the house, fellow New Jerseyan. How's it going? I don't know if that's a word, but how you doing, my friend?
It's going, man. Thank you for having me. Good panel tonight. Thank you.
Yes, and let me tell you, I love your display over there. I love how clean it looks, all the figures.
Yeah. Thank you. Soon it'll be up on YouTube.
DeLorean.
Yep.
You have a YouTube channel as well. You're starting this YouTube world.
Yeah.
So don't worry, I put the link in the description. You guys want to follow, by all means. First time on the channel, Sean in the house, 1/6 figure focus in the house from Ireland. What's up, my friend?
Hey, I'm gonna be really, really bold here. It's actually Shane. Sorry, but I just like to thank you. So after months of harassing you, and I finally got in here, and I'd like to thank Fabio because he did the background checks, and I had to forge a few documents, but I'm here. Thanks very much for having me, Dante. I appreciate it. Thank you.
No, my pleasure, man. And I know I get a lot of messages from a lot of people, so. I try to my best to get back to everyone, and sometimes I have spots already filled because we have really recurring people coming to the show. But I'm trying my best to expand a little bit, so don't worry.
You're a popular guy now, man. You're a popular guy. They're gonna come. They're gonna come. No, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure, man. Thank you. And of course, Jay, new daddy in the house. What's up, my friend?
Hey, what's up? So happy to be back, man. Thank you so much for inviting me. This is gonna be awesome. I am ready.
This is gonna be awesome, man. How's your sleep going?
Oh my God, my little one is just.
That's a let you sleep.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, brother. It's a lot of work, but I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Imagine 3.
Oh, God. I don't know how you do it and keep a collection and.
Stuff, yeah, I have a 3-year-old, 15-year-old, and 13-year-old.
Whoa!
Wow!
I didn't know you had a 3-year-old.
Yeah, I go to the gym with my son. It's so funny. Like when I look at him, it's like he's my height. I'm like, yeah. Like
This
you
isn't
know,
fair.
I know. I said when I'm doing weights, he gives me the weights like nothing, and I'm like, this is good. You know, when they were little, that was so fragile and all that. But congratulations, man. I know it's good to be a dad and collecting. That's the best collection ever for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and
Thank you so much.
it's a grail.
Yes,
That's a
absolutely.
grail. And this is how we start between collectors. All right, so now I have to say hi to the people on the chat because you guys are always supporting the channel. To Catherine in the house, what's up, gentlemen? The collector #1 in the house, David. Hato is one quarter Joker hit today, and yeah, it's fantastic. Don't lie to me. David, the collector #1, Jeff in the house. What's up, everybody? If you could only keep one figure in your collection, what would that be? I'm gonna start this comment. I'm gonna start this comment.
I got him
because
in
we're
the
gonna go
back.
back to it.
The art version.
Graham in the
great
house,
question.
the Jedi Knights Watch. What's up, my friend? Punisher XS. Ashley Chase in the house, my favorite part of the day. Daconator. What's up, my friends? Hope you all doing well. Gilbert in the house. Chunker. Did I pronounce it right? Single Songwriter in the house. Hit the like button, please. X0612. What up, guys? Hope everyone had a great Tuesday so far. So far, yes. Tammy Rodriguez, 6 scale, Padawan in the house. Mythbuster Jason, Ashley Chase, JC, 1/6 figure focus in the house. He's here. DT Armand, what's up, guys? Primetime Reviews. How you doing, my friend? Mohammed, member of the channel. What's up, my friend? We have Jeff, Anman, Paul, JC, Joe P in the house, Big Brother Julius, a soccer released. No shit, really? We have Buzz. Hey, Dante. Hello, fine panel. How's everyone doing? Blackbird Tech in the house. What's up, my friend? Ant-Man. Fabio from Fast Figures in the house. Change reviews expired by you, sweet man. Yeah, Fabio's in charge of the human resources part of the.
I'm gonna have to get married now or something to sort that out.
Don't forget to complete your taxes, Fabio. You need to check that out. He gave us forged documents. That's what he said.
Oh wow.
So
Can't trust the Irish, man.
Big brother Fab, stop spamming,
Big
please.
brother.
Oh, come on, this guy's gonna start. T-dubs. That's funny. Okay, this is a tough one. Sue Charts Bob. Okay,
That is
fine.
really tough.
I can, yeah.
That's a tongue twister.
Right.
Eric Hink. TK592. Where's Boba? Brother Cousins in the house. 6 Mafia. I want to pronounce his name, man. Sue Charts Bob.
Not even close.
Sear Sharp Bob. Is that it?
1/6 Empire, Lane Kramer, Big Dog, Uncommon Files, Fabiolo, Big Dog, Anthony Carabis, member of the channel. Thank you so much, my friend. The Alfonso Nation, and everyone watching at home. Thank you so much for tuning in. Almost 80 people watching. Hit the like button. All right, so let's start with the topic. So, I'm just gonna start differently tonight. So because we're in April already, believe it or not, we're April 5th.
Oh,
And there still were a lot of figures that didn't release yet. And I'm afraid, and I've been talking about this in previous shows as well, that I'm afraid that we're going to get to a point where all of us will need to make tough decisions, right? Because now, let's be honest, pre-orders are dying, in my opinion. Again, this is just my perception, because you're able to get it even after. So you don't have to pre-order something to get something, right? You can still get it anyways.
Yep.
Now, with Queen Studios in the game, with other companies potentially coming into play, you know, a lot of things are going to change. But let's start with this, because there's a bunch of figures that are supposed to be released anytime soon. And I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about, because Let me see if I have the right screen here. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna start with this one. So look at the dates here, right? Transport Trooper.
Yep.
Cable, right? Look at the month here. March, right?
Yep.
Miles Morales,
Wow.
Anakin Skywalker,
Wow.
Wonder Woman, Tony Stark, right?
Gotta
Yeah,
be.
right.
So we
yeah,
have
right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 figures that were supposed to be released last month, and obviously it's gonna happen at one point, right? So this is where I want to get. Planning.
Oh,
What are we doing? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna start with Anthony on this one. When the time comes, you're gonna face the reality of having like maybe 4 or 5 figures that you really want to get, but because all of them are releasing at one time, you need to pretty much make a decision. Which one should I keep? Which one should I just, park ways? What is your approach? How do you plan yourself to get ready when you get to this point where we might get a bunch of figures coming in a short period of time? Remember, it happened before in October last year when we got like 5 figures in 1 week. So it is possible. It's not like it never happened before. Now, is that going to repeat itself all the time? Maybe not, but it is a possibility. What are your thoughts, my friend?
Well, I think we get about 2 or 3 times a year. We get these surges. That's just what I'm going to call it, because that's really what it is, right? You get 4 or 5 figures just back to back, and most people aren't prepared. Now, for me, I guess the way I look at it is Star Wars above everything else. So hopefully I can mitigate some of the damage, but I'm in the same boat. Like I don't pre-order. And the world has changed, and I know that sounds. I'm not trying to sound overly dramatic, but everything's different in the past 6 months. I'd say about 6 to 8 months, but more prevalent now, where they're so backed up on everything. Like you were right, there's no reason to be pre-ordering anything anymore. There's no such thing as FOMO. I mean, realistically, right? Because things will just sit. So then you have to look at yourself as a collector, be like, well, what do I really want? Like out of those 6 that you've just shown off, for me, it would be Star Wars. So I would get probably that Anakin and the transport trooper, right? Even then, I don't need to get it day one, right? Because that they sit, and we're all in a community, regardless. Like anybody in here watching us right now is probably in some form of either your Facebook group, my Facebook group, on Reddit, on Instagram. They're aware of things. So within our groups, people will usually be like, hey, so and so is blue listed on on Sideshow. Then at that point you could be like, ooh, okay, maybe I do need to get this now, or at least put in my pre-order. You know what I mean? So I don't feel like you don't need to rush. I don't think there's ever a rush for anything. And then with everything happening overseas, it's like things just drop in price, and it's messed up, and it is what it is, right? But I mean, like at the end of the day, you can wait and end up getting a deal overseas, which I mean, that's preference, right? Some people will do it, some people won't. I totally understand that. For me, like I'm collecting, I've got my for example, my shore troopers, they're dirt cheap overseas. That works for me. So it's like there's so much stock in everything, and like you're pointing out, these delays, they're so far behind. I think everything's just gonna sit. Remember, we were like, "Oh, look, Lando's a grail," and Lando is arguably a grail for us, right? He's still in stock. IG-11's been over a year, still in stock. Like, what the hell? Like, we're in a different time now. Anyway,
that's a good point. But also to keep in mind that when you pre-order something, right? Let's say you pre-order all those 6 figures, whatever that is, that I flash on the screen. So let's say you pre-order all of them, right? So eventually, when the time comes, let's say 3 of them are at once, right? You need to pay the full balance, right? So then, but you said, you know what? I want to get Anakin, but also want to get Miles Morales. So it's gonna be a point that you're gonna have to make difficult choices, right? Especially if you are a collector that loves Star Wars, loves Marvel, pretty much equally, right? That you can pretty much get both of them and you're happy with it, right? So this is where I want to get with the planning part, because it is to me important that when the time comes, you need to be able to make a decision and be able to if you need to make compromise something, then obviously you're going to do it. But at the same time, you can, I don't want people to just go crazy because a lot of people are gonna get all of them, and then, oh, you know what, I want to get this as well, and then that's where we start this circle of FOMO and try to get what you get just because you have it. I want to have it as well, because it happens. We collectors try to, like, sometimes, like, oh, you know what, I want to get it too, and it's reality. I mean, it happened to me. I'm just gonna speak for myself. But before I continue with my friend Will, Maggie Warren with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. A little late, but here to support Andrew's first stream. Awesome job as always, guys. Oh, look at that.
Andrew's got a fan, bro. Come on, now.
I
Only
mean,
fan.
it's my girlfriend, so
Oh, nice. That's
Yeah,
supportive.
that's awesome.
Is who?
That's awesome.
it's my girlfriend.
Oh, it's your girlfriend. Oh, wow.
Girlfriend gets
Yeah.
applause. Girlfriend gets
Yeah,
applause.
thank you. Thank you so much, girlfriend.
Thank you, girlfriend Maggie.
Yeah, thank you for the super chat. You know what? This is the beauty of it, right? Like, we like to have, like, new people on the show once in a while, and I spoke to Andrew a few times. So I said, you know what? Let me see if he's up to it. And he said, you know what? Let's go. Let's do it. So that's good. That's good. Thank you so much, Maggie, for the super chat. Mr. Dr. Will Fox.
Ooh,
Planning, man.
I like the title.
Planning. I mean, you collect statues as well. So for you, can be
do.
sometimes a bit difficult because you have, hot toys, you have statues, you have a more of a menu there.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts about this? I mean, how do you plan yourself, right? Assuming that you do a lot of pre-orders, or maybe
Yeah.
not, or maybe you like to pay everything when the bill comes, or maybe you do payment plans, whatever is your situation. How would you address this? If you need to make compromises, how would you make to that point?
Well, all I can say is life is hard, Dante, when you get statues and figures, dude, because you really, like, you're dipping your toes in both pools, and things can get expensive pretty quickly when they all start dropping on you at one time. What I would say is, if you are starting to track this stuff, like Dante, what you just showed, if any of watching out there has like a bunch of those figures on pre-orders, if you're able to, go in and pay one or two of them off now. Because if you're going to get hit with all of them over the next month or so, and you're going to get 6 $300 bills that you've only paid an NRD for, then maybe try to mitigate that a little bit by paying for one or two of them now. That's something you can do if you bought it from Sideshow or other places like that let you pay off in advance. Some retailers don't do that, and that's fine. But if that is an option for you, that's something that I like to do. I like to pay in advance nowadays. I do payment plans here and there if I'm buying something really expensive, but usually I just like to full pay outright if I can. So I like buying from places that let me do that because that gives me, I know it's paid for. When it's ready to ship, I might pay for shipping, but that's it, right? So I'm not going to pay for, say it's a statue that's $1,200 and I only paid an NRD. I'm getting hit with a $1,200 charge basically because I got the NRD and then I'm getting shipping plus what I owe. So I like to full pay if you can, but that's not always realistic depending on what you're buying. If you're buying something really expensive, it's not always possible, right? But if you're buying hot toys, I would say, man, like, just track this stuff and monitor. And then, like Anthony said, just don't pre-order. If you already pre-ordered and you're already locked in, you don't really have much of a choice. You can go in, maybe initiate a payment plan or try to pay some of it off now, because you can pay things. And some sellers, non-Sideshow sellers, can send you an invoice and then you can pay it off as you want. And then you can just pay it as you go. That's really nice too. So I really like doing that. But if you just wait, and it's so unpredictable, all these things could come at one time. Like Anthony said, you get a surge, and it could be end of this month or end of May, and you got 4 of those figures dropping at once, and you have them all on pre-order. So then that's a case where you're going to have to tap out probably, because you're going to be like, ooh, man, I can't afford all of that at one time. I didn't expect this. So, I like to keep an Excel. I keep a Google Sheet spreadsheet, so I know when everything's slated to come out. So I have an idea of what's going to hit me at what times. That's what I like to do. And like I said, paying things off. And even if you like doing payment plans, that's great, because you would have paid most of these off already by now. So I prefer that rather than just dropping an NRD and then paying the rest as it releases. Because even if you do a payment plan and you want to cancel, you're going to get everything back except for the NRD anyway. So you might as well continue to pay, so you know kind of where you're at, instead of getting hit with a bomb at one time. Because I used to do that, especially with statues, man. Say the statue was $1,200, like I said, and you're paying $1,000, but that's my thing. Pay some of it off now if you know it's coming soon, and try to do more payment plans and full pay, and just do not pre-order hot toys. Do not pre-order hot toys, period. That's my opinion.
Say that one more time.
For the fans out, for the only fans, do not pre-order hot toys, please, for your own bank account, because you're going to thank all of us later, because you might not want it in 2 years. It might look like shit in 2 years. There's so much that could happen.
Yep.
Like there's so much and you're locking yourself into a pre-order. That's that your opinion, like all the No Way Home hype. Like remember when No Way Home came out, we all wanted all those figures. I think we still kind of do, but the hype's starting to die down a little bit. And in 2 or 3 years, are you still going to want all 6 of them or whatever? Like that's if you pre-ordered them all, then you're pretty much screwed. So I've eaten some NRDs in my day, still have. So
yeah, because you're
not fun.
losing, if you cancel, you're losing like $20, whatever the price is, right? So
or
20%
20% sometimes, Dante, for some
Yeah,
sites.
20, 30, 40.
sometimes, right,
Yeah.
right. But the way I see this, before I go to Andrew, I want to say thank you to Collector Joy for the 199 super chat. This panel is fire. Drop a like, hit the like button, guys, and subscribe to all my friends' channels here. Everything is in the description below. And why not, if you are generous, just become a member too, because we have shows on Sundays for members only. So the way I see this is in 2 ways, and I always have this argument with not argument, a conversation with Fabio, because he does payment plans because obviously he collects multiple figures, right? So for him makes perfect sense. In my case, what I like to do is I have like 2 different accounts. So let's say if I like a figure, if I know I'm gonna get it, let's say, I don't know, let's just for example Ahsoka, right? All in, let's say, is $300, right? Just to throw a number there. So it was announced today, for example, is releasing next October or next July, next year July. So what I do is I divide all those months into $300, and I put that money aside and just put it in that account, right? So when the time comes, let's say I don't want to get the figure, I have the money there. So that money still, stays there. Now with payment plans, for let's say if you go to Sideshow, right, you start paying the figure once it is close to release, meaning maybe 6 months before releasing time or 7 months, give or take. Again, I haven't done it, so I'm just gonna do an educated guess here. You're gonna start doing payment plans, right? And then your last payment is charged when the figure is actually gonna ship, so it can be pushed 1, 2, 3 months, whatever that is, right? So my point is, if you're gonna do something like that, I'd rather have control of my own money. I always put this example: if the company goes bankrupt overnight, you lose everything,
Right.
no matter what you did, right? But if you have the money saved in your bank, and something happened with the company, you still have your money there, right?
Well, yeah, if you put in, like, let's say you're
Like a $10,
pre-order
$15,
happy,
whatever that is.
and you drop like 10 pre-orders, right? So let's say at minimum $30 a figure, you've dropped $300 on 10 different pre-orders, and they don't come out for a year and a half, sometimes 2, as you've pointed out here with all these delays. It's not March anymore. Where's our figures, right? So then for a year and a half or more, you're putting all this money into somebody else's pocket, right? Versus like what you're saying, like if you can,
right.
I know sometimes that's a little easier for some people, but if you can just take that money, open a separate account just specifically for your collection,
Right.
and say, oh, well, this month I'm going to put $60 in here for Anakin,
Right.
And just kind of.
That's smart, actually. Yeah.
That's the way I see it. Again, not to say that it's wrong, because payment plans are good for people, and it's 100%, respect that 100%. I'm just gonna give you my perspective, how we do things, because at the end of the day, whatever we share is just to give you more ideas for how you can do your stuff, right? If you want to follow what we do, if you want to do what Will does with Excel sheets, or if you want to have another account for your collectibles, or you want to do this for that, by all means you can. But this is the beauty. We share our experiences and failures, especially the failures, because that's where you'll learn. When you fail, that's the best part, because that's you get that as an experience. So it's never bad when you make a mistake, because I make plenty of mistakes. I still do. I'm not perfect. All right, I wanted to go with Andrew, but he's on off for a second. Okay, I'm gonna go with Shane here. So what are your thoughts about planning? I know you're Ireland. I don't know if I'm assuming you buy from Hong Kong resellers. I think it's closer to you.
Yeah, sometimes I do deals with the devil. You know who I'm talking about. I definitely I look, I've always been a little bit of a calculated risk taker. So this is probably the same company that Anthony's on about with the cheap shore troopers. Like, I'm probably due a bad experience, and I will tell you if and when it happens. But I like the way they undercut prices, so it's it kind of ties in nicely to this discussion. So so I'm in Ireland, so like, just to give you an idea, a standard Stormtrooper from Sideshow cost me $40, and that's like shipping. So that is quite a big chunk. Like, and then I've got customs and stuff. So in terms of planning, like I've got 5 details, so I have 20 spaces behind me. Usually I'm a 1 figure per detail type shelf type of guy. I have like another cabinet down in the sitting room which has 8 spaces. So if you think about it, roughly around 28, give or take. So I have to be shrewd about which figures make it into the collection and warrant taking up a space in the detail. So I definitely can't be a completionist. Nor do I really want to be, and I can't get everything. So I have to be very particular with what I want. And I like that. It makes me think, do I really love this figure? Do I really want this figure? Can I justify dropping $250, $300 and then the shipping and the customs? So I completely agree with Will. Pre-ordering, I used to do it. I used to I was shrewd back in the day, but I definitely used to go, okay, that's from the Dark Knight. I definitely want that. I'm just gonna lock that in because I do like the idea of setting and forgetting. You're guaranteeing you're getting the figure, and I can choose when I spend my money. I love payment plans. I like to chip away $50 a month as opposed to just paying it outright or just paying the NRD, because you can pay the NRD like $20, $25 on like 3, 4, 5 figures, and then if they all come at once, you are snookered. You know what I mean? So you're kind of you're kicking the can. You're pushing off when that payment's going to come. That payment's going to come, and if they all come together, you're in trouble. So I like setting and forgetting with the payment plan. But even now, I don't really pre-order anymore. So I have a list of figures I want that I'm definitely going to get that I haven't actually made any moves on because they're hot toys and there's no incentive and they're not going to sell out. So, for example, the Batman and the Bat Signal, I'm definitely getting that, but I haven't pre-ordered it because even my payment plan doesn't make sense to lock up my cash, because in art we'll turn around and release something like the Joker, which I'll need cash for. And the way there's a really, really strict 3-day pre-order on that you have to order in the 3 days, that they're definitely not going to reopen. I'm just glad I did that. But you can see where I'm coming from. I don't like to lock up my funds. So there's figures out there that I haven't pre-ordered I'm definitely going to get, but because hot toys aren't selling out, I'm just not doing it. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. I do pre-orders or payment plans, but I'm not going to do it until maybe 3 months before the figure is due to release, because we all know that won't be 3 months. That could be 6 months or 9 months. Perfect example. And this is kind back to Will. I haven't got a Loki. And I want the Loki, and I've decided I'm going to get the Endgame one. But even now, that was supposed to be released now. Even if I stick that on a payment plan now, I will have it paid off before it gets released. Because let's face it, folks, that's going to be a Christmas present. That is not coming out in November. It'll probably be here for December. But even that's mad. So that was supposed to come out this month. So I can stick it on a payment plan, spread out my costs, and I'll probably still have it paid off. So the last point I'm going to say before I move on, sorry, I know I'm going on a rant here, is I have noticed that there is that trend with the Hong Kong resellers, particularly, Toys Wonderland. I know they're, it's a dirty word, where they're releasing their figures and they're shipping them for X price, the normal price. Then a few months later, when Sideshow gets theirs, Toys Wonderland are undercutting their price. And if you're willing to take the risk, sometimes it pays off. Of course, the same old, you're not going to get the customer service if they mess up your order. It is a total risk. But sometimes I'm kind of going, okay, maybe I won't pre-order. Maybe I'll just wait and see if Toys Wonderland does that and take the risk and see if I can get it for half price or something like that. There's no guarantee that they're going to get that order to you right. It is a total gamble. But yeah, that's where I'm at the moment.
It is too. And I want to say hi to the Nobi 2 in the house, the dream team. Good evening, folks. I can kind of read this with his voice. Good evening, folks. Welcome, my friend. Andrew, I'm going to go with you, my friend, on the planning. I can see that you have a bunch of figures behind you, so I'm pretty sure that you're a serious collector right here. So how do you approach this when you have multiple orders that are about to convert, or do you pre-order? How do you do your thing, man?
I think his mic is messed up, Dante.
Mic is messed up. Oh.
Yeah.
All right, so let me go with Brother Cousins then. So pretty much same question. I mean, you collect a bunch of stuff. I mean, you got a few grills. This guy's like raining, man. He got the Terminator, he got the Bespin look, he got the Ghostbusters. I kind of hate you right now, but
and the DeLorean.
How do you do it,
DeLorean?
Man?
I know.
My bank account hates me, and my wife's about to kick me out the house. No, I mean, honestly, it's a lot of planning. I mean, one thing that Will does is what I do, especially when I know a figure is creeping up or about to come out, or it looks like it's really about to drop. I pay it off. I pay it off. That's especially I did used to pre-order. I have a lot. I actually have like maybe I think like 5 figures on pre-order from Sideshow that I did like a year ago. Ahsoka's one of them. Everybody knows I have Ahsoka now. I actually got that one from Toys. Yes, I got it from Toys Wonderland. I had a good deal. They had a good deal, and I had points, so I was able to get it there. But I also had another one from that I bought from Sideshow. That was initially where I was going to get it from. Yeah, when I know figures are coming out, what I usually do is I start taking money. I start moving money. I look at the schedules. I look at when it's supposed to release through Sideshow, and then I count backwards. Like, okay, if Sideshow say they're going to get it in March, that means Toys Wonderland or it's going to be out in Hong Kong maybe 3 months prior. Then I started saving up that money and start paying or just making. I have a separate account that's set up for my Hot Toys, and I take that money and I start every time I get paid. I put like $200 in that account. So if something does come out, I have money there for it. It's like I call it paying myself. I make sure all my bills and everything are paid off, and then I have the little bit of money, like my little spending, kicking around money that I use. I'll throw that into that account. If I get extra, I used to work a place where I would get tips. I worked at a dinner at a jazz club, and I used to get tips. When I get tips, I take those tips, I put it right into that fund, right into that account. If I had any loose change, loose change is crazy. At one point, I had about $100 in loose change. Took that $100, threw it right into that account. So money is always there when something comes out. That's pretty much how I do it. When it comes to like the big purchases, like you see back there, the grails and all that stuff, usually every year when tax time comes, I make sure I pay off a credit card or I pay off a big bill, or have money set aside for like home repairs, or I call it just in case shit happens fund. And then I also take maybe myself like a couple, like maybe a little bit of money, and I'm like, okay, I can use this to play around with. And then that's how I got some of these back here. And some of it is just planning. It's all about planning. It's about planning and not letting anything thwart that plan. Last year I was really bad. Last year it was like I would go to my comic book store, I would see something, even though I wasn't even thinking of putting it in my collection, because it was there and I was bored, I would have gone and bought it. And I bought it, and then the thing I really wanted would come out. And then I'm like, damn, I shouldn't have did that. Then what do? I go and I start selling off figures and stuff like that. And you fall like Dante, like you say, you start falling in that hole a little bit of where you got to sell stuff just to buy other stuff you want. So I learned from that last year, and to just make sure to hone it down to get what I wanted to get, so I wouldn't have to do that. So yeah, it's definitely about planning. And that's just how I do it. When I know something is coming out, or I'm having a feeling, when we having these conversations, I'm like, oh, okay, so it looks like we're thinking Ahsoka is coming out here, or we think this figure is coming out, or we think, like for instance, the next thing that I'm after is I'm after Cable. So I already have money set aside to pay off Cable. I already have like $300 just sitting there, and that can go for if I did. That's one of the figures I pre-ordered from Sideshow. If I get a notification from Sideshow, great. If not, if Toys Wonderland has a deal, and they have deals sometimes, I have that $300 there. I have their discount. I have discount codes. Boom, I'm able to make that work, and so on and so on. Sometimes, and I don't like people doing this, you just have to really be careful when you do it. Credit cards. You don't want to buy anything on credit cards. But if you do buy something on credit card, pay it off before you buy it again. When I got the Ghostbusters, I put them on a credit card. I did. But what I did was I made sure I had half the money cash already there. So I knocked that half of that already down. And every time I get paid, pay that down, pay it down. And don't buy anything else until that's paid off. And then I have a bonus reward card. I get money for that. So I take that little $50 that I get, add that to another collectible, start the whole process again. And you build up your credit, and you're also, getting the figures you want. The thing is, you just can't abuse it.
Right. You need to leave your credit card at 30% tops in terms of balance. 20 to 30% is healthy. If you have a healthy credit limit, you know, 'cause sometimes I do that. Sometimes because I mean, some cards I may have like a good credit line, so I use it just to do something like that. But I'm very like, you know, I work in banking, so I kind of like know all this crap. So I just kind of like very careful when I do the stuff, you know. If I know that, you know, usually I like to set the money aside, but I put it on my other account, so my money's sitting there. So if something happened, yes, of course, interests are super low right now, so you're not making like $100 out of $100. Of course not. You're probably making pennies, but hey, that's up at the end of the day, right? If you have a couple thousand, you start adding. I mean, $1, $2, you know, something is better than nothing, right? So, you know, then if you use your credit card to buy something, just try to pay it off before the end of the cycle. So if you have like a 28 days, so if you want to pay that off like in 20 days, so you don't get to charge interest. So, you know, you need to play around with your finances. You know, it's how, because, you know, at one point, like, you know, when you get caught into this thing, you start buying a lot of things that you like, and then you're like, oh shit, you know, I'm still here. It's just my camera.
You turn the lights on.
Well, and don't buy to impress people either. I see that a lot.
Yes.
I think that's a huge problem in the community right now. I'm not saying obviously not every single person does that, but I get, like, you know, we'll be talking, or one of your other favorite content creators, or hopefully they're all here on this panel tonight, but you know, they will sometimes, we're like, hey, that figure's amazing, I'm gonna get it, I'm totally, hell yeah, I'm getting it. And you know, other people, they're like, ooh yeah, I'm gonna order it too, because so and so really likes it, and then they want to, you know, show it off in Facebook groups or Instagram. It's like, no,
you know, I have mixed
cares.
feelings. I have mixed feelings about that. So I'm going to tell you why. And this is just my personal opinion. This is what I think. Anyone can buy whatever they want. You know, that's it, right? Right. It doesn't matter what that is, right? Whether you see it was because, let's say, Bodecastas bought the Blizzway Ghostbusters, and then I'm going to buy it right now. So, you know, it's not jealousy. It's because I really want the shit. You know?
But if you can't afford it, then you're trying to just be like, hey, look, guys, look what I got.
I have a
that
problem.
Don't matter, man. You know what I mean?
I have a problem when you say, for example, let's say Anthony says, you know what? I hate Star Wars, man. I hate Star Wars. I cannot have any Star Wars figures. And then next day, oh, look, I got like 5 troopers and 3 Ahsokas and 4 Vaders. I'm like, dude, didn't you say that you hate it? You know, that's the thing, right? Don't contradict yourself. Because it is okay to be different from everyone. Like if I love Star Wars and you hate it, it's good. You don't have to love it because I like it. You know, that's the way I see it. Personality, you know, just have your personality. If you don't want it, but you're gonna get it just to impress, then you're gonna end up in the hole, because you're gonna buy a lot of things that a lot of collectors have because they like it, and then you're gonna end up in the hole because you're gonna end up with figures that you don't want, and then guess what? You're gonna sell it after.
That's my point, because we see it. Like I haven't seen it yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see Ahsoka for sale this week or next week in groups.
Oh, it's totally gonna happen.
As soon as Rosario Dawson,
not even then, but way before then, before then, because I'm just saying, because people will buy into it, get the figure, be like, hey guys, check it out, look at me, I got this, and it's like, yo, nobody cares. Like, no offense, like, don't do that. Collect what you want to collect, because we see it all the time, and then the next week the figure's for sale. Someone's like, you know what, I don't really like this. I thought I would be, you know, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. We see it all the time. There's figures, all brand new figures, like for sale. People are like,
and then you're going to take and when people do that, when they have to sell, you're going to take a hit on it. That's what you're going to have to take a hit to get it off, because sometimes why buy a figure from you at full price when I can get it from Sideshow or whoever around that same, you know, brand new,
get reward points, things like that. Like,
and that's a reward. That's a reward. That's a strategy as well. Like, literally look at eBay and go, all right, that's clearly someone who's done that. It's like $50 or $100 cheaper. It's just been released. You can pick up
one
some,
thing I would say to
figures.
just add on to a separate thing that Brother Cousin said was the credit card thing. Like, it's definitely an interesting conversation, because I've heard a lot of other people say they don't like credit cards. I do, because I get rewards for it. So like, if I'm gonna get 3% back on everything that I buy online, then I'm gonna do that, because as long as I know I'm responsible with it and I'm not gonna just blast out my credit limit, then I'm basically gonna buy what I want, and then I'm gonna get money back for it. Like, I'm just looking at it now. This month I've made like $40 already. So I mean, like, that's free money basically that I'm already spending that I was going to spend regardless. So you know, if it, I guess it does kind of enable you to spend more, which is what the credit card companies like, because you're spending more, you know, money that maybe you don't have. But as long as you're looking at what your savings, what your checking is looking like, and you're not overspending on what you do have, then I think a credit card, it gives you more power, but it also gives you like, it's also more responsibility, for not to be like,
Yes, great power comes great responsibility.
It didn't intend to go there, but that's where we're going. But yeah, I think it is. And as far as Anthony's point about like, you know, buying things you don't want, I do understand that for sure. I think at the end of the day, though, people
with great power comes great
exactly with great power.
New MasterCard ad.
I know, right? Let's get our own credit card company, Dante. Let's do it, bro.
Good thing they put the numbers in the back so you guys can see it.
Exactly. Not saw it. Don't worry. I'm using it. No, as far as Anthony's point, though, I get what you're saying for sure. As far as like people maybe buying things they don't want, I guess what I would always just caution people is to say like, hey, you know, when things get released, let it sit for a little while and think about it before you do anything. If you want to impulse buy, sure, go for it. Everyone has their own prerogative to do what they want, but I say everything Hot Toys sits nowadays. So give yourself some time. Like I've gone back and forth on this Bat Pod 5 million times. And at some point I'm going to make a decision, but for now it's probably a no, right? Because I must not want it that bad. Because if I did, I would have already bought it. So
if it's Pennywise or
if it's Pennywise or Loki, it's bought.
You will pull the trigger. That's exactly what happened with me. Like with the Bot Pod, I want to get it, but then I'm like, you know what? Do I really need it though? Like because not that I cannot get it, but you know, also you cannot be just kind of like buying everything because you can buy it. You know, because that's not the point. The point is to, if you're gonna get something, it's because you really want it and you really like it and you have the space for it. If you don't, chances are you don't need it. You know, don't push yourself harder because then you're gonna regret it. Then you're gonna be in the hole like I was many times, and that sucks. Let me tell you, that sucks, especially when I need to make the big purchase, get in the home, and I realize, you know, in the whole meaning that I couldn't pay, the whole meaning like, oh shit, this debt is ridiculous. Like I shouldn't have that in the first place. You know, that's the whole.
Yeah.
You know. So, but before we continue, because I think this is a really interesting topic, and I know, guys, you at home, you're collectors, you want to know, you want to see how we do things, you know, how we purchase our figures, how we plan ahead, budgeting and all that, because collecting and budget is together, right? You need to have a plan, you need to have a budget. If you can afford everything, by all means, you don't need a budget, you can just do whatever you want. But if you're like a normal human being like us, that we need to budget and plan ahead for our things, then, you know, hopefully this help you make a decision. But let me say thank you so much to Anthony Carabis, member of the channel, with a $10 super chat. Not gonna lie, I didn't like Star Wars. I told myself that I'd never buy. Then I saw the movies and boom, now I have 7. But I enjoyed these figures. But there is a difference, right? And this is why, you know, if you constantly trashing something, right, and then you watch the movie and you like it and then you change your mind, that's perfectly fine. You can't do that. But even if you watch the movie, you're still trashing it, and then you get in it, that's a problem. That's a different story. Then you're still contradicting yourself.
Right,
the point is contradiction. It's
yourself.
not like changing. The thing is contradicting yourself, but not changing. You can change your mind, but when you contradict yourself all the time, then that's a problem. That seems to me like I cannot listen to this guy. I'm sorry, I can't. You know, I just can't. You know, if you say no, it's no. Period. I mean, don't change. You know, especially after seeing everything, right? But that's just my. Well,
I mean, people can change their minds too. But,
yeah, change your mind is good.
Depends on how it happens, right? Like you know, I think everybody on the panel knows I don't have any DC figures yet. Not because I don't like DC, I love them, but it's also like you want to try to stay in your perfect example. You know, I love Spider-Man. Like, I mean, I love Spider-Man. They're Spider-Mans everywhere. To the point where now I'm like, I think I'm gonna sell all my Spider-Mans because I have so many. And yeah, I know, Jay, it's crazy. I've been giving it some thought because I'm so enveloped in Star Wars and through, you know, X06 that you just can't collect everything. You just can't. So that's a point that I think you guys should also consider, you know, at home, that everything looks great, right? You're like, oh man, that Batman looks awesome, right? Well, where's he gonna go? Now I have to get like, you know what I mean? Like,
the box. You want to put it in the box?
Yeah.
It's way too difficult. And then when you're talking about these surges that come like this, what if you're also like some of us where you're into the vehicles? So now all of a sudden you're doing these vehicles, you're getting these pre-orders done, and then you get hit with all these orders, and then you're like, oh, well, wait a minute, I have to make a payment on my DeLorean. Then it's like, okay, what's gonna go? Oh, well, that figure's bye-bye. I'm gonna cancel it because I'm not missing my DeLorean payment. You know, things come up in life. That's just collecting.
Yeah.
Well,
Never mind,
I know-
emergencies or rent or something.
Sorry, I know, Dante, we have to move on to, but I'll just make the point real quick. Well, like the thing, I think the less figures you buy that you're on the fence about, or the more figures you buy you're on the fence about, rather, the less money you're going to have for the anomalies. The anomalies that just pop up out of nowhere that you decide you really want that you didn't know were going to exist. Like if Queen Studios drops that Joker for 1,000, right? You're like, we didn't know this was coming, really, and it just drops out of nowhere. You're like, but I definitely need it, but you already spent that money on the stuff that you didn't really want that just came into stock. So then you have to start making exceptions, selling old things or overextending your budget. So that's kind of, I think, where I would go with it, just to proceed with caution with things that you didn't really want and now you kind of want, because you want it maybe sometimes, because I think we all do this. There's that sort of thing where you don't have a figure to buy and you want to buy something, right? So then you buy something that looks kind of cool, but you never really wanted that. And then I've done that before and sold it. And then a new thing comes out and you're like, oh, I should have saved that money because this thing I really want. That's what I really wanted. That's my point. That happens. But each turn.
It is, it is a good point. All you guys made a really good point. Talking about payment plans, talking about figures, planning, you name it. Vehicles. Yes, a lot of things are coming, man. That's what I said. Like you need to get ready, because when you get hit, you're gonna get to make a decision between the Transport Trooper, between Cable, between Miles Morales, which actually I'm gonna get this one, Anakin Skywalker, Wonder Woman, which I don't like this one. This is an easy pass for me. Probably gonna get it for review and that's it. I'm not gonna keep this one. Tony Stark, this one probably gonna keep it because it's the first, I like the first one, But then we have the ones potentially coming, like Luke Skywalker, April to June. We have Moff Gideon, April to June. We have the Dark Troopers. I think these two are gonna come together,
I agree.
In June.
In June, probably May, June. But the point, or July. But the point I'm trying to make is that if you see the times, it's pretty much getting closer and closer. So it's gonna be a time that you need to make decisions. So this is the whole point about this, right? Planning, budgeting, and decisions. But yeah. So enough with that topic. I think we expand good enough time for this. But I want to talk about Moon Knight, man. Ooh. So I'm going to start with Will on this one because I watched the first episode, and again, I didn't read the comic, so I have no clue what the character is about. But I just went to watch the show and see what that is. I like Oscar Isaac, so that's a plus. And man, I loved it. I got my, it's kind of like Egyptian type of mix with Venom. That's how I see it. Because with the voices talking inside, and then it seems that this guy has multiple personalities or there's multiple people. Again, I don't know. I'm going to keep watching. But what are your thoughts on the first episode?
Dude, I really liked it, Dante. I liked it because it had a lot of mystery to it. It gets you curious and it builds a lot of intrigue in what's going to happen, because really, I don't even know what happened. I'm so confused watching the end of that episode. I'm just kind of like, okay, I think I kind of have a general idea of where this is going, but I like that I'm confused in a weird way, because I think it was entertaining enough. The performance was charismatic enough from Oscar Isaac. Ethan Hawke was also fantastic. There was just a lot of good elements mixed in there. The only downside I could see to this episode is that the CGI is a little janky in some spots, like some of the car chase scene, and then there's like with the jackal at the end. Like, it's good, but it's not quite, I don't know, like Marvel level to me. It felt a little like it belonged on Disney Plus, for lack of a better term. And some of it did instead of in the theaters, which is like not, I think, the thing they're going for with Disney Plus. They want to make it so it feels like it should be in the theaters too, right? So for sure, I would say that definitely the episode was really, really good. Oscar Isaac showed for sure that he belongs in a leading role in this type of environment. The dude is incredible. I mean, if you've seen some of the more indie films he's done, like the dude is just, he's insane. So I don't know if he gets a bad rap. No one thinks he was bad as Poe Dameron. I just think Poe Dameron wasn't really developed in the way that people wanted. So he doesn't really get a bad rap for that in the way some of the other characters do. But I will say that he's really good in this role. And I won't spoil anything, but the end of the episode, let's just say that. The end of the episode, the very end, the last shot,
he dies.
That's the thing that I think everyone wanted to see. So that's, and damn, dude, that is awesome. And yeah, like I said, there's just so much mystery surrounding this show right now. And I think that they gave you just enough to get you like invested, but not enough to really see the big picture yet. So I'm really excited. This is definitely one of the more intriguing first episodes I've seen. I'm always going to prefer Loki, you know this, but this show was great, man. I'm really excited for what's to come, and I think they've set a really good foundation. They've laid the table really nicely so far.
Yeah, it was a great, very great first episode. I'm gonna go with James now. James, are you good now with your mic?
Yeah, man. I'm sorry about that. I was having
No,
some
no worries,
difficulties there.
no worries. Yeah, it's the first time, so don't worry, man. Don't worry. So, have you seen Moon Knight?
No, I haven't seen it. No.
Oh man, you need to watch that show because there's a lot of going on. But before we talk about the show, we can start talking about what it was shared to us. Let me see if I can just put it on the screen here, if I can. Okay, so we got this Hot Toys Moon Knight here, and let me just put this one here. So, Andrew, I know I know you haven't seen the show yet, but I just wanted to ask you, what was your first impression when you saw this figure? I mean, look at the details, look at the outfit, the cape, wire cape. We have light up features, so it looks like we're gonna get a decent figure. Now, my only thing about this is articulation. I don't know how much articulation you can do because of the suit, but what are your first impression on about this?
Yeah, I think the figure looks great. I mean, the wired cape is definitely a selling point. Like, I haven't seen the figure, haven't seen the show, so I think the figure looks great though. From what I've seen, the leaked images, it looks pretty good. I mean, I don't know much about the articulation, but so far the figure looks great. The cape, the lighted features in the eyes, that looks great.
If we get a second Hell Squirrel, that would be even better, right?
Maybe. I mean, did you see the actor's face in the show? I don't know.
Well, I don't know either. That's what I'm saying. Like, hopefully they can eventually. I mean, eventually they can drop that. But
yeah,
who knows?
Isn't it Poe, like from Star Wars, the guy who plays Poe?
Is Oscar Isaac. Yeah, Poe. Yeah. And I do agree with Will what he said about the Oscar Isaac character. Poe Dameron. It wasn't. I mean, it was a good character. I mean, I guess the intention was to mimic Han Solo, but they kind of fell. But they tried, and I think with a better writing, better script, maybe he would be a much better character. And I think this one could be his chance to reinvent himself. Just my thoughts. Shane, what are your thoughts about Moon Knight, man? Do you watch the show? What do you think about this figure here that was leaked a few days ago?
Yeah, I watched the first episode. Yeah, I've seen all the Disney Plus Marvel shows. I do think it was probably not only the strongest opener for any of the Disney Marvel TV shows, but probably like the best episode in terms of like getting my attention. Mostly because I didn't have a clue what was going on, and I liked that. There's a bit of brain candy there. I think. Do you remember the 6-scale economist? Do you remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah. He described the Mandalorian. He compared the Mandalorian to like a good salad. He said that like a good salad has the right amount of like all the vegetables and a small amount of dressing, right? So he was kind of saying that like he was comparing that the salad is like the story and the dressing is the action. And he was saying if you have too much dressing, it's going to be a bad salad. And it's like if you have too much action in a TV show and not enough story, it doesn't work. So he was kind of talking about balance. I thought it was kind of funny, like, but this seems to have like the right amount of like story to keep you interested and the right amount of action. You know what I mean? So it's a nice balance. You can't have too much of either. If it's all action and no story, you'll probably lose interest. If it's all story, no action, you'll probably lose interest as well. But yeah, I thought it was good. I thought Oscar Isaac was really good. I thought the action was good. Do you agree with Will though on that CGI? Parts of it was kind of like, that looks a bit questionable, a bit kind of sketchy. But at the same time, at the end of the day, all those classic films that we watched from the 80s, a lot of them, the CGI wasn't great, but it was the story and the characters which drew us in, and the action, the CGI was like the bonus. Like, so yeah, if they continue this, I'll be very happy with it. I've never bought a figure or pre-ordered a figure from a Marvel TV show. I'm probably going to stay in my lane on that. Again, we all need that direction, which direction we're going to make our collection in. So I can't see myself caving and buying this unless the TV show like blows it out of the water. Because I have yet to watch a Marvel TV show and go back and rewatch it. I have not rewatched WandaVision or Loki or Falcon or Hawkeye, and I don't have any intention on doing so. Whereas I'll watch Iron Man any day of the week. I'll watch
Mm-hmm.
Civil War or Winter Soldier or like even the Guardians of the Galaxy because they have the rewatchability, like, you know, and I love that. Like you can put it on with guaranteed satisfaction. Like, but I just don't have that with the Marvel TV show. It's almost like a bit more disposable for me. I enjoyed them at the time, but yeah, it doesn't really. I don't know. So like, I'm hoping maybe Moon Knight like is that first Marvel TV show that I'm like, oh, this is amazing. I'm gonna go back and rewatch this, and maybe it will convince me, and it will enable me to get this figure. I have asked Lael to provide me with some titles for comic books that I should watch because I have that Marvel Unlimited app, so you can go in and I'd like to watch, read some of the key kind of comics on this, so I can go, okay, I kind of get this character a bit more, and that could maybe it'll be a bad thing. Maybe it will enable me, and I'll be a few $100s down, like by the end of it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the next episode.
Yeah, brother Cousins, what are your thoughts about the show, man? Like, did you like the first episode? I don't know if you watched it, but I'm assuming you did.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm a Marvel head. I loved it. And I don't know that much about Moon Knight. I've read a lot of the comic books, seen him featured in a lot of famous stories in the comic books, but didn't know too much about the character. So I walked into this not knowing, really what was going on, but I loved it. And I think Oscar Isaacs did a great job. It was good to see him in a role like this. He was phenomenal. And most of this episode was based on just character. You didn't get anything until, a costume towards the end. I'm not sorry, spoiler, but of that episode. But it was good. I mean, it was his acting, the way he portrays the character. It was great. The show was I think it's one word, very interesting. Very interesting. It kept my interest. I didn't feel bored. There's been some Marvel shows where it was something like, all right, can we just get to the damn point? WandaVision had a couple moments like that, especially in the early part of that. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I thought that was probably still the greatest Marvel show. Outside of that, a lot of the rest of them had a little bit slower parts in it. This, as the first episode, I think this is the best first episode of a Marvel show ever. It really, like I said, it was really interesting, and for some reason it pulls you in. And I really liked that about it. I really, really, really was just enamored with it, and enamored with Oscar Isaac and his portrayal. And it just shows me that at first I was kind of like not poo-pooing on him as an actor, but I was just like, this guy, he doesn't have it. What's up with this guy? I didn't like him as Apocalypse. I thought he was horribly miscast as Apocalypse. Poe Dameron, I think we can all agree, it wasn't him. It's not his acting ability. The character, like many characters in the Star Wars sequels, were kind of just underwritten. And I think him and a lot of people say that about Finn, but he was also very underwritten. This right here is I'm glad to see that he's getting something that's worthy of his caliber of acting. So this is going to be great. I can't wait for tomorrow. I can't wait for the next episode, and just so we can just keep peeling back the layers of this, because it's a mystery right now. Like, really, what is going on?
It is a mystery. Like, to me, it was fantastic how they approached the character. I mean, I like that he confused me so much. I was confused throughout the whole show until the end.
Exactly.
But I like that. That's what it kept me on the edge. I didn't need to see some craziness happening, but it was like that little voice inside. Like, that's why I said, like, it reminded me a lot of Venom, how the voice inside and the Egyptian type of thing. I really liked it. So I really did get the first episode. I can wait for the second one. Anthony, closing thoughts about the Moon Knight, my friend.
Well, I haven't watched the show yet, but I've read the comics for a long time. It's okay. I know. But let's talk about that figure. That figure looks great. Well, it's relevant. It's relevant.
It is relevant.
It's technically
cool.
Moon Knight.
It is technically Moon Knight.
It's Moon Knight.
Right.
I like it. Whether or not I'm going to get it, I don't know yet. It's kind of rough, because this kind of harkens back to what I was talking about earlier. Like, if I get rid of like all my Spideys, I still have like my Detoffs with the Luke lights out there that I would like to do what I usually do with them, which is just having like one figure per Detoff shelf, and that still leaves me with 24 slots for my comic book styled figures. Now, I know this is like MCU, but it still looks like Moon Knight. Like, for me, does that make sense? Because he's like fully covered. I'm like, this could be my comic book representation. It looks great. We have to see more once we get the final release. Looks like the cape's wired. Perhaps he has batteries, right? Looks like the eyes light up. Hopefully that's not photoshopped. Yeah, I mean, he looks, I mean, photos are tricky, right? At first glance, it almost looks like a Marvel Legends. You know,
I
just
thought
way,
the same thing. Yeah.
Marvel Legends.
I see
Kinda,
that.
Especially,
Kinda.
especially that it was April Fool's.
Yeah,
You probably-
but if it's
When
not,
I
people
first saw
switched
that,
it.
that's what I was thinking. I was like, "Is this a
Yeah.
Marvel Legends?" And,
Yeah.
and I mean, it was a good Marvel Legends, but I didn't get hot. I see there was Hot Toys, the logo, Hot Toys logo over there, but I was getting the Marvel Legends from this, and yeah, I get that.
it almost looks like it, and I don't know if it's because there's all the white and something with the bends in the elbows. There's just, or in the front almost looks plastic. But it's probably not. It's just, it's hard to, again, pictures are a pain.
Right.
They're just hard to tell. But if we got to see the,
I can
we
see
got to see the
leather.
release.
I can see the suit being tight. I can see she's with the articulation, not with the figure. I mean, the figure's gonna look amazing, but the articulation. Let's see the poses that he does in the movie and on the show, you know, all those things. But I'm very excited, and now we're gonna switch gears. Now we're gonna move from Moon Knight to Obi-Wan show.
Ooh.
So you know, I just can't wait for the figure. I'm gonna stay with Anthony on this one. You know, Obi-Wan, the closest thing we're gonna get to the original trilogy. You know, we're gonna get Vader, we're gonna get Obi-Wan, we're gonna get Luke Skywalker, perhaps Leia, Bail Organa. We're gonna have a bunch of nostalgia characters there, Inquisitors, you name it. What is your expectation right now about the show? Because bear in mind, next month is coming. Yes, next month the show is coming, and we're gonna get 2 episodes, so 2 hours potentially of Obi-Wan. What are your thoughts about that? And what do you think Hatos will give us before the show? Kind of like to give us some pregame type of thing.
Ooh, well, if they were smart, they would have given us the Anakin already, because this is coming up pretty damn soon. And I know the Obi-Wan is kind of like a graveyard figure right now, so I'm not really counting that one. But I really feel like we need to get the Anakin with Stap before the show, you know, because no one, I'm not going to say no one, but it's not going to sell as well if they announce an Anakin or / Vader from the Obi-Wan show and they still haven't put out Clone Wars Anakin. You know what I mean? So I think it's in their best interest to get that figure out before. So I think that's what they'll probably give us. As you know, it says March, it's April, it's still not here. If they can pull it off in time, I don't think they can really give us anything else. But I'm excited, dude. Like, I feel like I don't think they could screw up an Obi-Wan show. Yes, they can, but I'm saying I don't think they will. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they took some creative liberties with Boba Fett. But they have Deborah Chow directing all 6 episodes of Obi-Wan. So I like that. I like that there's one person that's doing the entire show. You know, it's
more because they're treating more this show like a movie, like a 6 hour, 7 hour, whatever the time is, long movie. So they treat it like that. I mean, you can see by the trailer the special effects. It looks sick already. It looks like a movie. I mean, really,
you could tell instantly the budget was way better. You know, and that's the thing. Like, you can play. I don't even think you should play around with Boba Fett, but they did. But in comparison, that, you know, Boba Fett has a huge following, but arguably Obi-Wan and Anakin and or Vader has an even greater following. You know, in that respect. So I hope to God they don't screw it up. I don't think they're going to. I think it's gonna be. This has to be like a home run, because if this doesn't work, and it's not very well received,
Mandalorian it is.
well, not only that, I don't think all these other shows we're hearing about, they're gonna go in some kind of hiatus.
Yeah.
You know, if Obi-Wan bombs.
I have a quick question. What is the budget on? Does anybody know the budget on this movie? Because I'm thinking that it looks like, by looking at the trailer, that they're treating Obi-Wan like we all said, like a 6 hour film, and I think Boba Fett was treated like a television show. Is that making any sense? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the budget was much less on.
Yeah, and then looking at the actors, because you have Ewan McGregor, he's a fucking movie star. I love Tamora Morrison. He's done films. I love Ming Na Wen, but they're predominantly TV actors as well. So maybe, I don't know, maybe they had something with Boba Fett, because it looked like they spent the money in certain areas, but then they didn't spend the money in all their. Yeah, it just looks like some episodes were. It was really lopsided with the episodes. This
It all went into Vespas. They spent most of their budget on Vespas. You know that, right? That's what they did, man.
Hey Jay, I
Just
heard it's
painting
like
Vespas.
Yeah.
right.
Hey Jay, I heard it's like 25 million an episode
25 million episode, man.
per episode. Yeah, and there's like 6 episodes.
Wow. There you go.
Damn.
So
I mean,
you're saying
oh.
Ewan McGregor is getting 24 million every episode?
I don't know.
He's getting,
Yeah.
I mean, he's getting a lot of money for sure, man. A lot of money for sure. But I can see, you know, going back to the Anakin Clone Wars, right? I think it will make sense to see that figure this month and keep the new Obi-Wans and Anakin's for the when the show comes. You know, well, what are your thoughts about the Obi-Wan trailer? I mean, obviously there's nothing yet but the trailer, but you know, you can see in that little trailer that you already have like 6 figures easily, you know, and people already talking about the Inquisitors, that they're not right, they're incorrect, you know, but bear in mind that, you know, you're comparing the animated series Clone Wars with, you know, live action, so you know it's gonna be a difference.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts? What are the potential figures you think are gonna come before the show?
Dude, before the show is the tough question, because I think you're going to get probably an Obi-Wan, if anything, before the show at all. You might not get anything, because it's funny with Mandalorian. Remember, we got Mandalorian, the pre-Beskar Durasteel, and we got IG-11, right? I think that was it. And then we got the other stuff later on.
Yeah,
Nowadays, it feels like we get everything way after. You know, like, for example, Loki and Hawkeye, we still haven't got the figures yet. So, dude, Moon Knight, I mean, it's already started technically, and they kind of teased it, but there's nothing up yet. So I think they're definitely hot. It almost feels like those days are almost gone. I don't know, like those days of getting a figure release or announcement before a show. I don't know. But you know, it's definitely an interesting idea. But if you do get anything, it's probably going to be the Obi-Wan. It's probably going to be the Obi-Wan that you see in the trailer, maybe with a lightsaber or something, and that'll be that. But then there'll be some new outfit at the end of the show or something that you want more. So again, that's another reason maybe not to pre-order ahead of time. But I think as far as figures go overall for the show, I think definitely you're gonna obviously get a Darth Vader. You're obviously gonna get a Darth Vader, and I think you might get multiple Darth Vaders and Anakin Skywalker. I still hold out hope that there's some kind of flashback or some battle damage Vader situation where you can get something that's unique to Darth Vader that people have always wanted. Maybe, like, again, there's a flashback, they reissue Darkseid Anakin in some way, something like that, right? I think those are the type of things you're gonna see. Maybe one of the Inquisitors, you might get one of those, but I think overall you're looking at probably like 4 to 5 figures for this show. You know, that sounds about right. And if 2 of them are Obi-Wan, there's not many others you're going to get, right? And 2 of them could be Darth Vader. Like,
Battle damage Vader.
yeah, I don't know that they're going to do like
C-3PO
8
probably.
figures for the show. You know, they might, but you know, Book of Boba Fett wasn't quite the hit that everyone wanted it to be. But how many did they do? Like 2, 3? Like they did Fennec.
Didn't make much. Yeah,
They
Fennec
did Boba,
was
and then
one.
that was, and they did Boba in quarter scale actually. So I
Which
mean,
looks fantastic.
yeah,
though.
I don't, yeah. So it looks great, yeah. But
Fennec
as far
was
as
basically Mando.
as far as
anyway.
6 scale, yeah, exactly. As far as 6 scale, I think they just did Fennec, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
so. I mean, so I don't
They
know,
knew.
but any Darth Vader's getting made. Any Darth Vader's getting made. Any Obi-Wan's probably going to get made as far as moving forward. So yeah, I think those are the ones you're probably going to get. Maybe if we get lucky, we get an Inquisitor, but I
Yeah,
wouldn't
battle
bank on
damage.
it.
Battle
Yeah,
damage.
Battle
Vader,
damage
yeah.
Vader for sure. Or like a 2-pack or something. That's what I'm hoping, like a split mask. But it might be wishful thinking. You might not get it at all. Just kind of like baseless speculation.
Yeah. Before I go to Andrea, I want to say, please hit the like button, guys. We're 125 people watching. Let's make it to 100 likes. Let's do it with your finger. You just click. And also, if you want to become a member of the channel, you should consider we have live streams for members only and special shows that we're working on. Early access to reviews, special shows, you name it. So if you want to become a member of the channel, support us, please join us. Joining, caring, sharing is caring.
Sharing
Uh,
is caring.
Andrew, what are your thoughts about the Obi-Wan? How many figures do you think Hot Toys is gonna give us, or at least what figure do you think Hot Toys is gonna at least tease us before the show starts?
I mean, the Star Wars show is not really my cup of tea, but I'm hoping that we get like a Hayden Christensen and a Darth Vader 2-pack. That would be pretty sick to have. And then maybe like a better updated sculpt of the Obi-Wan Kenobi from the Clone Wars.
Yeah, General Kenobi. Yeah, that wasn't. Yeah, they need to kind of like announce that one too. You know,
Yeah,
it could
so,
be the strategy too.
Yeah,
But yeah, go.
I'm not really a Star Wars guy, so I couldn't touch on that. Sorry.
No worries, no worries. With my friend Shane, 2-pack Obi-Wan, Anakin 2-pack. I think we're gonna get a battle damage Vader, which I'm telling you that's gonna be a hit. But I still have a feeling that they're gonna tease something before the actual show starts, just to build the hype, like what they did with Boba Fett. They announced a figure literally on the same day that the show was out. So, what are your thoughts?
Well, I don't have a Vader in my collection, and I'm kind of realistically holding out for hopefully some sort of an anniversary for the Return of the Jedi. I'm hoping maybe a 6-scale figure that you can do like
Random
solo.
Sinuses.
He's got a brand new baby. Give him a break.
I know,
right?
Sinuses.
You know, if you watch the show, I always put a spot everyone. Like if somebody's leaking or somebody's texting,
And I'm going to be honest. What I was saying wasn't that interesting. I'm sorry.
No, it's good. Brother Cousin's face was more interesting. But that's all.
That's the face of a father that didn't
Yeah,
sleep last night.
he's closed his eyes. He's actually dreaming about sleeping as well.
Yeah.
No, he said, "No, I didn't do it because I'm thinking about my budget and planning.
That's
planning
what he is, bro.
Okay, that's a good point.
Thinking hard. I was in deep thought. That's all.
He's connecting with my words.
Yeah.
Look, I haven't got a Vader in my collection, and I'm kind of holding out, to be honest, for an anniversary of Return of the Jedi one, because I'd love if they gave us one where you could move the helmet and have the face cupped inside. I know that's wishful thinking, but you know, they did the 40th anniversary
Never know.
figures for Empire. So, however, if in this series they do give us a Vader and it's close enough to the original trilogy, like what you're saying about battle damage would be amazing, because then it'd be cool if you could have one that looks like an original trilogy, but also swap out battle damage part. That would be ideal, because then I could just, kill two birds with the one stone. I wouldn't have to wait for the Return of the Jedi one. So there's that one. Yeah, you're going to get an Obi-Wan. He'll probably have that like I don't know, L'Oreal hair that he has in those ads. Like they got some really good hair care going on in some of those shots that they have. It's ridiculous, like, but it looks like a L'Oreal ad. Yeah, look, I don't know, just in terms of the series, like I'm skeptical. I agree with Tremble Dust. I think that's the handle in the chat there. He said Boba Fett made him cautious. 100%. I literally said to some of my friends who were talking with this going, they can't mess this up. They can't afford to mess this up about Boba Fett. And I was well wrong, because they kind of did. It doesn't tarnish my opinion on Boba Fett. He's still amazing. It's just, I know he wasn't that much in the original trilogy that much, but he was still cool. He had the look. He was mysterious. He had the ship. He helped capture Han and all that kind of stuff. He was amazing in The Mandalorian season 2, but they're almost like different characters. It's crazy, like, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm very, very cautious, like, because I'm a Star Wars fan. I consume all the Star Wars stuff. But realistically, when I whittle it down, I'm not going to say something's good if it's not good. Original trilogy, I'm on board for. Rogue One, I'm on board for. The Mandalorian, I am totally on board for. I have no interest in the sequels, and even the prequels. Even the prequels. There's only sometimes some of the dialogue between Anakin and Padme about sand. I vomit in my mouth when I hear that stuff. I can't do it. Like, however, I will never watch the Duel of Fates and not get excited, because that is amazing. That lightsaber duel, it still gives me chills when I watch it. So there's aspects I would pick up on. So look, I'm cynical when it comes to this show, man. I really, really hope they don't mess this up. I don't think they can afford it, because I think Anthony made the point in another stream. It's it feels more like Star Wars. You have Jedis. You know what I mean? So it's not just an offshoot of Mandalorian or Bounty Hunters. It's Jedis and Siths. So and provided Keith in the chat said, we talked about the Vespas. He said he's pretty sure the Inquisitors are going to fly around like helicopters with their lightsabers so around their heads. Like, he's just joking, but it's I hope they don't go in any weird Vespa direction with Obi-Wan, because it's going to annoy a lot of people, and we're all going to be very disappointed. So
it's kinda,
fingers crossed, cautiously optimistic.
Did I go with everyone on the panel? Did I miss you, brother cousin? So you made your comment about the Obi-Wan show.
I think I made. I mean, all I got to say about it is it looks great. And I agree with the sentiment that everybody is saying that if this fails, it's going to be hard to recover. Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to go back to like all the divisiveness that we had from the sequels if this doesn't land. Mando may possibly save it. I mean, but it shouldn't be the only thing we have. That shouldn't be the lightning in a bottle thing that we have. I mean, I think they really are going to deal with a lot of care, and it's going to be really something. And just it looks like a movie. It looks like a movie. And this is the closest thing, as Anthony said, this is the closest thing we got to the actual OT Star Wars. Going back, these harken back to the prequels. So this is something that's going to be big. It's definitely going to be big. And when it comes to Hot Toys, I agree, they need to release that. They need to release that Anakin. They need to release that Obi-Wan. It needs to come out. This stuff, it's ridiculous. I don't know what's taking so long. I mean, well, we all know why it's taking so long, but it needs to come out because I think we're going to get a lot. I think they got a lot riding on this show and a lot riding on this line. I mean, I can imagine what we're going to get: battle damage for Vader, all that stuff.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, I hope that they give us something before the show starts so we can at least get some hype. It is possible. Maybe they do the Anakin and maybe they do the Obi-Wan as well. General Kenobi. Who knows? But yeah. So hopefully when the show comes, it meets our expectation, and we hope that the show is gonna deliver. I really think it's gonna. I'm very confident that this show is going to be amazing. Just the fact that we have Vader and Obi-Wan, that's it. Even if they're there for 5 minutes, it's going to be epic.
Right.
It's going to be worth
Exactly.
it. It's going to be worth it. So I think, I really hope so too. So I think we're going to be in good shape. So we're going to talk about the last topic of the night. And we're going to talk briefly about this because we pretty much speak about this all the time. So the Inner Coin Studios Joker back on pre-order. So, it's still on pre-order if you get the regular version and the sculpted 2-pack, but now the rooted hair came back to pre-order, which is fine. Honestly, it doesn't affect me at all. Again, this is not like a limited edition type of thing. Like, it doesn't have a number behind this release. So, for people that miss out, then, you're good to order, but still. Me personally, I went with the middle one, with the deluxe. Don't ask me why it's called deluxe or premium. I don't even know what that is, but it's the one in the middle. It's the one in the middle. I couldn't justify spending that much money though, like $300, $400+ for just rooted hair. Just to me, didn't connect. But again, it's just me. I'm gonna start with Anthony because I know he raised his voice about it. He wasn't that happy about them. And
how much time we got?
He raised his voice about it.
People are taking popcorn out.
What do you think?
People are taking popcorn out in the chat.
I was actually a little taken aback by everybody the other night when I was like, "Yo, seriously," and everybody's like, "Nah, it's fine." I'm like, "What the hell? It's not fine."
This is gonna be so much fun.
Look, I'm just saying. Look, and I know Dante don't matter to you, bro, because you got the sculpted, so you're okay. But yes, eat the popcorn, guys.
Where's the popcorn, man?
It's about to get spicy. No, listen.
I'm gonna put mine in the microwave.
Look,
Popcorn in the chat.
John was on your stream, Will. Okay, the Queen Studios rep. For those who don't know, we were in that interview. He said it's 3-day window. He said it on Justin's stream. They put it everywhere else. It's 3 days only. Every site that you could buy it from said 3 days. People scrambled for it. I know people sold their figures to buy it. And yes, you can argue and say, well, it's just a down payment. But no, there's people on this panel who paid in full. There's people I know who paid in full because it's cheaper to pay in full. Okay. So when they make this big deal and they stress 3 days, 3 days, 3 days, and then a freaking week later, they're like, just kidding. Like, that's bullshit, man. I'm sorry. I'm going to call it where I see it. It's not fair to the people who rushed to get it because they stressed this sense of urgency. Yes, they didn't say it's not an exclusive item. Yes, they didn't say it's a numbered item, but they sure as hell implied it with this why even mention it? Why even put 3 days and stress on all these retailers? You guys have 3 days to get it. It ends Thursday. Thursday's the final day. Thursday's the final day. And then they come back on it a week or two later. So it's kind of like, to me, you're a new company. You are a new company. You're in arts. You're not Queen Studios. 6 scale people don't know who Queen Studios is. You know, unless they hear about it in passing, you know, things like that. In 6 scale, this is a new company. So I felt like it was kind of grimy. It's like you want to try to, you know, get the trust of these, you know, of people, of the community. You're coming in, you know, you've got a great opportunity to be a competitor in the 6 scale game. You're showing, you know, you're taking polls, you're communicating with the community, right? And then you pull something like this. What happens in 3 months, bro, when they're like, "Hey, here's the Robert Pattinson Batman, and there's this exclusive version that's only available for 3 days." Who's gonna believe that shit?
Yeah.
Nobody. Like you that's where my point is from that. Yes, I bought it. Yes, the figure looks amazing. Okay, but we still don't know. It's a prototype. So I'm not saying, you know, oh no, I bought this in you know, a mistake. No, I just feel like it was kind of a little bit false advertising in that respect. And with
maybe
that,
they didn't even know. I have a feeling that I mean,
well, that's
there's
even
so many
worse.
questions. There's so many questions. I mean, there's so many questions that weren't answered though. Where's articulations gonna be like? Do we need any type of? Do we need any type of? Any type of care kit for this, for the rooted hair?
Yes.
You know, like, are you guys gonna be able to fulfill the orders because you're saying Q4? Just so, because they don't even know. You know, that's the thing. They don't know. Nobody's gonna know. They ain't gonna know.
No, they don't. But
but
just,
you know, so to me, maybe you know, my again, this is just my theory, is that they thought that by putting the rooted hair, which looks amazing, I mean, looks really, really freaking good, but with that price tag, that make collectors think about it and see, okay, should I spend $350 more for rooted hair? And the sculpted one looks just as great as this one. Yes, the rooted hair looks more realistic. Of course, it's gonna be, right? But now, is that gonna be when you take it out of the packaging exactly like this? Or do you need to get some type of product? Again, I don't have rooted hair figures, and if I do, it's only probably one. You know,
well,
so
you know, I'll
I'm not
review
sure.
it when I get it.
Yeah, but
And
you know,
we'll see.
we'll see. Maybe it comes like, go like.
But there's some Queen
Well,
Studios, like even with the I'm sorry to interrupt, but even
go
with
ahead.
the with the 1:1 scale busts and statues, the stuff that they do, they have like proper hair care, like stuff, and it's like they have it set up where to retain that look,
Right.
and that could be done. So
Probably.
Yeah.
My thing is that because that's a bigger scale, I think it's much easier to maintain because it's a bigger scale. You have more
Very
room
true.
to wiggle, right? And the smaller scale is different. I mean, you see when you get, like, for example, like a Black Widow with the hair all crazy.
Well, they
Yeah,
all,
you
Hot Toys
got
are like Barbie
Gamora.
dolls with that root.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Of course, we're not saying that they're gonna do the same thing. But before we go with Will on his thought about this, I want to say thank you to Collector Joey because he just became a member of the channel. Thank you so much. If you guys want to join him and become a member, by all means, you could. I'll put the link in the description below. Early access to figures, reviews rather, especially shows. I'm doing more shows than actually early reviews because shows are more fun. You know, we can connect. We have live streams, you name it. So if you want to become a member, help us out. Mr. WILLFOXIFICATION.
Yeah, man. You want me to weigh in on this one?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is really interesting because it's funny because Anthony probably saw that we talked about this on my show on Sunday on Collectors Mingle because I think
Briefly.
Marco, it was funny. Anthony dropped a super chat. He was like, "Can y'all talk about this?" I was like, "Bro, we talked about it first topic." I was like, "We're already done." It was hilarious. But dude, so it's interesting because I do hear the argument that like maybe some people felt misled that they said it was 3 days and it was not 3 days. To me, it's just such a moot point. I just don't see why anyone really cares because the only reason why you would care is if you only bought the figure or primarily bought the figure for exclusivity. If you didn't buy it for that reason, then you probably don't care because more people are getting it because that's the only thing that would matter to me because, you know, because if you felt like you were misled to buy it in 3 days, I mean, then you probably didn't want it because if you were going to get it
people may
anyway.
want it, maybe they buy it in 3 months when they could afford it.
But
That's
dropping
a
an
problem.
NRD
Some
like that,
people
I mean, that's like
because doesn't that come off kind of elitist?
no, because
Where you're like,
if it's
well,
like,
it
dude,
didn't really affect
if
me.
everyone watching this show is buying Hot Toys and and they drop like a $90 NRD, that's not, like, I'm not saying all of us are ballers, but I'm saying it's not the end of the world if you wanted the figure anyway. So that's my point. I'm not saying you had to pay it in full. Like, if you paid it in full,
though.
yeah, some did, but that was their choice. They didn't
call.
have to do that. Like, I mean, so you didn't have to pay in full to
They come with a gun and say, pay in full.
Yeah, so I mean, that's my point. So you can't. I just don't think you can hold people to that standard.
Though.
You know what I mean? So like like I said, the only reason it would matter is if you cared about exclusivity, and that's fine. If you care about that, that's totally fine, because a lot of collectors do care about exclusivity, and that's one of the reasons they bought it. But to me, if you don't really care about that, then there's no reason to really care that they reopened it, because you were going to get it anyway. Whether you bought it now or whether you bought it 30 days from now, you were going to get it. So to me, it seems like such a moot point, unless you really, like I said, cared about it being limited. Like, if that's, like, I know Carlos, for example, good friend Carlos, he does. And I understand why he'd be upset about that, because if it's supposed to be 3 days and it was advertised that way and it's not, you have a legitimate point there. Yeah, you have a legitimate point there. But to me, that's the problem with that in just 1/6 collecting. We know nothing's exclusive in 1/6. It's just not. Like, when John was on the show, he didn't rule out reissues. Like, they could very easily say, okay, we kept it at 3 days, and they sell out and they reissue it. I mean, so what's the difference? You know what I mean? That's the point.
But why even say it though? And why have it on every vendor's website?
I get that. I agree with that. I agree with that. They probably didn't get enough pre-orders. That's probably the obvious solution, which sucks. That's not a collector's fault. But if more people can get the figure, why should we bat an eye at that? Like, why should we?
I'm all for people getting an opportunity to get a figure.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you, this is the fastest reissue in 6-scale history.
Well, yeah, other companies.
I know, right? Is reissue before it even
It's true. That's true. That's a good point.
That's a good one.
Yeah. But I will. I don't know, and that's the kind of vibe I got from it. Like, I understand the argument, but I think I think it's an overreaction from other people who are throwing their hands up saying this is unfair, XYZ, and this might be an unpopular opinion on my part. I just don't think it's. And like I said, unless you care about having something that other people do not have, which is fine if that's the way you want to collect, then I just don't see why you care. Like, I don't see why it would matter to you. Because if you were going to get it anyway, okay, you dropped $90 a couple months before you had to. Like, you know what I mean? That's not the end of the world.
They made it sound like this was going to be a very special, exclusive 2-pack rooted.
And it still
could
be.
Only limited for 72 hours.
Right.
It still could be.
Right, maybe that was their mistake. I think that was their mistake.
Yeah, it's a mistake.
And again, nobody's freaking perfect, right? And they're a new company, so
just not off to a good start in my eyes. That's all I'm saying.
But that's fair.
That's a fair point as well, because if they say, oh yeah, it's gonna be like 3-day window and this and that, and people start like doing it, but at the end of the day, they're a business as well. When they see the numbers, the pre-orders, say, oh shit, you know what? We didn't get as many as root hair we should have. Let's spend another 3 more days. Let's do another week. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, let's do it. Boom. It is, yes, I think would it be more effed up if they would say, okay, this is only like 500 pieces, and then they fulfill the 500 pieces and then they do it again. Then I will.
Well, that's
the
loophole,
pissed.
right? Because they never said.
Right, they never put an addition on it.
But but in reality, I think. Of course, rooted hair is better. Rooted hair requires more work. That's why it's a price tag, right? When you get something customized with rooted hair, you pay a lot of money for it, right? You pay pretty much, as much as a figure. So, of course, some players are gonna be upset. My case maybe because I'm super biased and that really doesn't affect me because I didn't get the rooted hair one, even though I wanted to get it. And I told Carlos privately that I wanted to go all in about this. But then when I make my decision, I say, you know what? Can I sell this? Like let's say something happens with the figure. It's gonna be tougher to sell something that is that price tag than selling something that is in the middle. But let me address the super chat from Carlos. He said, I felt misled. I'm collecting sideshow figures only from now on.
He loves
sideshow.
Right. But it's
good luck with the losing party.
But yeah, and true, the losing side. You picked the losing side, bro. But you know what I mean? But I get where you're coming from, man, and I do feel like you have a valid point. I do think like the 3-day thing, it was a little misleading, but I just like if they had come out and said, okay, we're taking the second head sculpt away, and you already pre-ordered, then I'd have an issue. Like then I'd be like, okay, I literally bought something that you're not giving me. But if I already bought something and you're gonna give me that thing, I don't see why it's an issue. That's my opinion.
I don't know. You know what I do? You know what it is? More than anything, I feel fooled I feel fooled.
But maybe
so I
you
feel
didn't want
foolish
it, though,
for
you
it.
know what I mean?
No, but
because
it's
if you
about-
only
it is
got it
about the
because there was 3
sentiment.
days, maybe you didn't really want it. That's the
It looks
point.
amazing, and I want
Right.
it. But when you tell me 72 hours,
You're
Right.
rushing to get
that's
it.
exclusive. That's exclusive. What the hell is that? That's
That
you're
is
putting a time
exclusive.
limit.
Yeah, right.
So that's
Exclusive
where I'm
pre-order.
upset. I'm like, wow.
But do you not want it
Okay.
anymore? You know what I mean?
No, I still want it.
Right.
But that's neither here nor there. That's like buying a car on special or something, and then next week they're like, nah, it's special for everybody. You know, it's similar. You know what I mean? It's just like
I would be fine with that.
they made it seem like this is a very special. This is the first one. You got 3 days. They
Right.
really hammered that shit in. So that's where I'm like, wow, that was
Yeah.
kind of dishonest.
That
What's
was
the
that,
post-
and I think that's a good that's also a good point
That's fair.
because sorry, Cousin. I think it's a good point because if you promise something for a certain time, right, and that's it, 3 days, that's it. I mean, when JD releases the figures or the statues, 3 days and that's it, gone. That's it, no more. So they should have followed that, regardless of whether the numbers that they were looking for were there or not. Just because they need to understand that reputation is more important than money to me, right? If you have a good
Sure.
reputation, you are with your word. But when the moment you start saying, "Oh, 3 days," and then you know what, just kidding, let's make another week, then that's a problem for people, especially if you're a new company entering this market. Yes, of course, the prototype pictures are amazing. You guys did a good job going to different channels, do different interviews. You did the PR, so that was good. That's what we were complaining about Hot Toys, that they're not transparent enough. And then we have this company going to all these channels and doing the reviews and the interviews, whatever. So that's good. But then when they do this, I can understand Anthony's frustration, like how people
too.
felt about it. So it is
Yeah,
a valid
that's-
point as well. We're not saying that it's invalid or not. It's a good point. But again, they can also say, yeah, but we didn't promise you only like certain amount of pieces. Then that would be a
Well,
different,
yeah, but
And
So
I think from
but
my
it's still-
understanding, if you pre-order in that 3 days, you still get the handcuffs, the special thing, right? So no one else is getting that. So
that was supposed to be the first 24 hours,
right. So I mean, but still,
and
would
then
probably most
you
people
had
do it,
48 hours left to get the rooted.
but-
So
right.
it's just kind of like, again, if they come out and
Nah,
they
I
say
get
the
it.
next one has a 3-day window, no one's gonna believe it. That's my whole point.
That's
As a
fair.
company who's new, you kind of started with a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths now. That's where, you know what I mean? And make no
Yeah.
mistake, you heard me on my streams and others where I was like, hey, listen, yeah, it's a 3-day window. It's a 3-day window, but there are purchase orders from companies and they'll have way more after the 3 days.
Right.
Queen's not selling it anymore, but let's
So-
say Spec picked up 400 of them. Well, he
This-
can sell
this-
them.
So would the
to the end of
issue,
time.
Anthony, be more so that like people felt rushed to pre-order? Is that the main point?
I feel
because
like, yeah.
because but you have a point though. But the counter to that is like Spec had them this whole time. So like
Right.
even though the 3 days were up, Spec had plenty. It seems like so people could have easily gone and bought it anyway.
Yeah,
so
Even
that's
all
what
the
I was saying.
resellers had it. after
right, the
3 days.
resellers still
Exactly.
had it. So I mean, it's
Because,
not like
again,
it was
they're not-
exclusive.
Right.
Like it's,
I think if we let me move to Andrew and Sean and brother cousins. So if we if they wouldn't be like distributed by a official distributor, it would be a different story, I think, because
Right.
we all got it from Hong Kong resellers, so different resellers, no authorized sellers. It's a different thing, right? Another super chat from Carlos. To be honest, I was out of the 1/6 and these models fooled me, and I pre-ordered it. With that said, I won't pre-order moving forward. It is. I mean, again, all these points are valid. We not, we just kind of like, giving our opinion. But Andrew, did you were able to get that Joker? Pre-order that Joker?
No, I did not. I don't understand. Like Anthony was saying, I really don't understand why. I mean, they put a bad taste in everybody's mouth by saying it's only for 3 days, and then they went and go ahead and put more pre-orders up for sale. Like, that's not cool. But no, I did not pre-order it. I'm perfectly happy with my DX11. So, but I do have this other Queen Studios.
that's a good one. I had that one.
Here,
also.
so-
That's good.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that a 1/6 or that's
1/3. Yeah.
1/3. Yeah, there you go.
That's a
I
statue,
mean,
right?
Yeah.
yeah, it's a statue, but I mean, it looks great. So I can I can speak that their quality is pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna screw that up. To be honest with you, Sean, do you
No.
think that you were able to get pre-order that Joker, or you're gonna play cautious and wait until it's released?
No, I was waiting on this one. I stay in my lane in a lot of things for situations like this. I went ahead and ordered the double pack rooted and a single sculpted as well. And I literally couldn't care less about the window reopening because I saw this. I loved it. I like it. I'm excited about it. I continue to be excited about it. I hope it looks like the prototype. If it comes out like the prototype, I will be delighted with it. There's no guarantee, and I completely accepted that. The only thing the pre-order window did for me was make me get my ducks in a row quicker. I was always going to drop this money. At least now it's paid off, and I don't have to worry about it. So I'm not going to get stung like whenever it does actually turn up. So I don't care. But that's just my opinion. Everyone's situation is different. So the one thing I did notice when that opened up again, I just did a face palm moment going, oh my God, they're not going to like this. As in the collectors aren't going to, and rightly so. Like I totally get, like as in I get both sides of the opposite arguments from Will and Anthony. Like I was going to get it anyway, so I don't care. But I completely get the face palm moment going, you went from stream to stream. You were very good at the PR. You're doing the polls. They're communicating in a way that Hot Toys doesn't. You said it was a 3-day order window. I know people maybe thought that as exclusivity. Me personally, I don't care if they're making 1,000 of these or 1,000,000 of these. I still want it, and I'm willing to pay the price, and I am excited about it. However, there are other people that interpreted, say, the 3-day window is there's some degree of exclusivity. And then when they reopened, it was like, I just knew, like certain collectors came to mind going, oh, they're not going to like that. And I completely get where they're coming from as well. But I'm wondering, like, why did they do this? Was this always the plan? Is there no such thing as bad publicity? We're talking about it again. We basically spent a month talking about this, and now we're talking about it again. So is there a certain percentage of people who are going to hear about this going, why are they so worked up about it? And they're like, oh, and someone explains, it's the Queen Studios in our Joker, haven't you heard? And then they're going to get more pre-orders for this.
Exactly. Everything makes sense, right? Like when you start connecting the dots, everything makes sense. Of course, I agree with Anthony. I agree with Will. I agree with Andrew. With Brother Cousins now he hasn't made his point, but I already agree. Was your
I agree with you too.
because I feel the reason why I agree with all of them is because I really doesn't affect me at all, and I don't think. Yes, I understand the point that they said, oh, it's 3 days. It's only 3 days. You can get this, whatever. But then they extended, right? But because of the price tag, I mean, it's pricey. I think you got the rooted hair, right, Jay?
Yes. I got the rooted hair one, and I totally agree with Anthony on this.
My man.
We talk about
seriously.
No, because it's just like we talk about like stuff coming in, budgeting, planning, and all that. This was completely unplanned. Nobody saw this coming. I didn't think I would be getting, I was waiting, like everybody, I was waiting for Hot Toys to release a 3.0. This company comes out with 1/6 scale line. This is the first one. It looks phenomenal. $1,000. And I'm like, damn, I got 3 days to do it. So I had to move some shit around. So I'm like, okay. I was ready to put a big down payment on my Ecto 1. Because I had that 3 days. I thought I only had 3 days to get the rooted hair. I went and took that money and put it on this. Now, guess what? I'm late on Ecto 1. And this is still up. So yeah, I was kind of I feel a little bamboozled with that. And that's the thing I think collectors are upset about, because that money could have been allocated to something else. I could have waited if I knew I had more time to do it. I don't know why they did a 3-day window anyway. I don't know why they didn't do
right?
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't do what NECA does. Like NECA does re-releases, and we don't care. They do re-releases all the time. They're re-releasing the Tolkien Razor figures, and you couldn't buy those for a while. And they're re-releasing those, and they give you 2-week windows. So I don't understand why they couldn't do a 2-week window. Maybe they would have met that quota, whatever they were trying to meet for the rooted hair ones. Obviously, they didn't meet it. That's why they, opened the window up a little more. So if they would have gave themselves a little bit more time, maybe they would have made it, and that would have gave collectors a little more time to do to make those purchases. But doing that 3 days, it was very disingenuous. It really was. And it just puts it to a point where, like I said, I'm in a hole right now. I may be in a situation where it's going to be hard for me to get the Ecto 1. Because I had that money set aside, like, okay, I'm gonna get the Ecto 1, I got the DeLorean, I'm gonna get that, and now it's like I gotta reflip everything to get that.
That
And
happened to a
that's-
lot of
and that's
people,
not-
bro.
Yeah, it happened to a lot of people.
And do you know what would be and that's a very valid point. That's because like everyone's situation is
It's
different.
different.
You know what would be a very now is the trying time. Like think about this. Like they have Facebook group, the Queen Studio in Art. I wonder has anyone actually directly posted asking them, could you please clear up why you opened up? This will really tell. It's very easy to be have good PR when people are excited because you're just showing the new images and the new video, and that's very very easy to do. But now when there's a little bit they made a bit of a slight misstep, how well they deal with this. So I wonder has anyone actually posted and asked them directly, by the way, Queen Studio in Art, could you please explain to us, you said it was a pre-order window, why is there not? I wonder how they would respond to that.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
my point would be that, like, so right now they've reopened the pre-order window, right? So we're no longer in the 3-day period. But as far as I'm aware, we have no set hard deadline of when it's going to end. So, brother cousin, you'd be in the same position because you'd be like, man, I really want this, but do I need to pre-order now because I don't know when the pre-order is going to close? They could be in the
KG
same
Hobby
spot.
says April 20th on theirs.
Okay. Well, even
But then they all have weird dates. So
Right.
that's where I'm
So that's
like,
my
yo,
point. You'd be in the same spot, Jay. You'd be like, no matter if they gave you 3 days or not. So that's my point. Like, you'd be pretty much.
I mean, but
and also, I mean, you said you paid in full? Is that right?
I paid in full. I paid in full.
See, and that's again, like I did too. I did
And I
too.
got it
So I
for full
totally
money.
understand. But like, no one had to do that.
Yeah.
So like, if you wanted to do that, that's great. But like, all you needed was an NRD technically. So I don't think we can hold that against Queen. Like, we can't be like, well, we dropped a full pay. Like, we had to. Like, you didn't have to. So, but I get what you're saying. Like, if it puts you in a tough spot, because I full paid too. But but I don't feel necessarily.
Yeah, but some people don't want to do NRDs and payment plans.
But did
right?
they want the
So-
figure anyway? Is my point. You know what I mean? Because if you wanted it
Yeah,
anyway,
but
then
it's
you're
not
like,
the
I'm still getting what I paid
consumer's
for.
fault,
Yeah.
Right.
right? Because
I mean, honestly, and I'm just speaking for me.
Yeah,
for
I
me,
get it.
I mean, it doesn't hurt as bad, but for other collectors, I can understand them being like, "What's going on? Like, what is going on with this?"
Yeah, I get it.
yeah, they just need
Especially-
to tighten up on that.
Right, especially because this was a faith, more like a faith type of
Sure.
action. Because we don't know much about Queen Studios in the 1/6 scale world, right? They've done statues 1/6, but that's a statue; it's not a figure; it's different. But they've done the statues and they're really good quality. We cannot deny that fact, right? So it was more because that reputation of them doing really good things plus whatever they said, and then when they drop these pictures, I mean, it is really good. I mean, you cannot find any flaws unless you have the figure in your hand. That's where you will see whatever, if it's really good quality or not. But I do agree that collectors that had the 3-day window to pre-order, like Jay said, that they needed to, again, circle of life, the planning and the budgeting, trying to play with the numbers and see what should I compromise to get this, because this seems to be that I don't have only these 3 days to order. I don't want to like pass. If you don't like this character, well, it means you don't care, right? But if
Right,
you
right.
like it, obviously you're doing it, you're pre-ordering. So that's the reason, right? So I understand that that concern. I understand also what Anthony said about, you told me 3 days, now you're giving me another 4 weeks. So what's up with that? I mean, you're a new company, you're already like lying to me. Like you reissue something that was already so I understand the whole picture.
Yeah.
And also we need to understand there's so many unanswered questions that seems that we don't have an answer because they don't know. And obviously it's valid because whoever was doing this is more like on the public PR side, rather than the person who is the sculptor or the one in production that knows all those things. So obviously it's understandable that they would not know this and certain things, but they should be ready to at least address those issues because it's a valid concern. What is your number one issue when you buy a sideshow figure? The body, to lose joints, right?
To lose.
What is
Yeah.
your concern when you get something with rooted hair? Maintenance. Okay, how is the maintenance going to be? How that wasn't answered, right? We know the quality is going to be good. Articulation seems that it might be a bit limited here and there, but again, we don't know that because we don't have the figure in hand. But those are the little things here and there that they probably can get better. So I'm not gonna say, oh, this is the end of the world. They suck, no, because
No, but let
this
me
started.
Can
But
I
go
ask
ahead.
you this before we move on from this? Because this is something that was in my mind. What if Hot Toys did this? Hey, let's flip this. Let's say it's not in arts. Let's say it's Hot Toys. and Hot Toys just pulled this shit.
Well,
There would be an
you need to
uproar.
compare. You need to be fair, because if you're telling me this is Hot Toys' starting company,
So are we giving them a benefit of the doubt because
right?
they're
You
new
have
and they
to.
goofed up,
You have
or
to.
did
You
they want
cannot.
more money?
No,
Anthony,
you,
they do it. They do it once every few years. They reissue figures. Like it's just not as close, man.
What I mean is, if they were like, hey, here we're putting out this figure, you guys got 3 days.
And
And
they
then-
kind of did it with Yoda, but not 3 days. Like
Yeah,
And
but people
Pennywise
were-
just
Yeah.
went up for order again. So
yes.
True,
But this is the thing. Like,
stock's there.
I think I
Right.
think we need to compare. Like, I mean, right now you cannot compare Hot Toys with Queen Studios, right? Hot Toys is already here. They've been
Right.
doing this for years on 1/6 community, right? Now, Queen Studio wants to get to that point. So
Sure.
if they make a mistake like this, I can understand. Now, if they f this up in the statue world, I'm telling you, the hit will be much worse.
that would be a lot worse.
much
I just want to know if it was a mistake
because
or if
it
they
could
got
easily be a
greedy.
mistake. Maybe they got greedy. Maybe they made a mistake. Maybe they didn't foresee to have such a low number of pre-orders.
Right.
And this is a valid point. There's a business at the end of the day. They need to make money, right? That's the purpose of a business, to make money. So maybe that's what they found. And maybe by then it's sneaking around and say, you know what, let's just add another couple weeks and see what happens, and then just kind of like, that's it, no more, right? But they give you more time.
This
you
is
know?
the thing, because if it was my company, and the pre-orders for that were through the roof, I'd be like, okay, why do I have a company? To make money. The only difference is I would put out going, due to massive demand, just one statement, due to massive demand in, said product, we're going to reopen or extend the deadline and then close it again. That might have just quelled the flames a little bit. Some people might still be
that's
annoyed,
fair.
but
I would have felt
it
that
would
would
be
have
a
been
bit,
maybe a little more acceptable.
I think
Yeah.
they just should have added like an incentive or something, like for the people that pre-ordered, like in that
Like
first
vaccines?
couple
You're
of
going to
days.
get $100
Free
if you
vaccine.
pre-order.
handcuffs. They ordered handcuffs.
Like an
wasn't there?
exclusive.
Well, not even an
Yeah.
exclusive, just like, okay, for all the people that ordered during that 3-day period, you're going to be in that first batch or first
That'd be
couple
cool.
of batches or whatever, something like that. That
But
would be
they still can do that, though. They still can come and say, because they're listening what everyone's saying. Maybe they come and say, all right, Anthony, you're gonna be the first one who's gonna get the figure. Anthony's gonna say, Queen Studios, I love you. Thanks so much for this. Honestly, I don't
He
care.
is, right.
Extend the window
Right.
for another 5 weeks. It's fine.
It's just and it's my fault for looking at them like a friend, because they're not, right? They're a company, but I'm looking at it through life experience. It's like if one of you guys pulled some shit like that with me, I'd be like, yo, what the hell? So that's how I look at it, just on a higher level. It's like, you're
It's
new.
because they went so intimate. They came, they came to you. You're like, oh shit, like this
They
guy's
said
coming to
all
my
the right
channel,
things, and we
But-
don't know.
right? But at the
They
end
didn't
of the
call
day,
us back.
Right.
but at the end of the day, the reality is that they're a business, and they need to make their money. As long as they deliver, I think we're gonna be happy. I mean, if they come as promised, Q4 you're gonna get your figure and you have it. All these conversations are gonna be nobody's gonna care about this. But if they suck at the delivery, when you get it, like the hair's like all crappy, man, that's it for them. That's really it. I
Yeah.
mean,
I don't think we're
you
gonna get
see
it this year either.
people are,
Probably
No, we're
I
not.
mean, neither. But we're gonna get like
No.
it will be trash everywhere, and that's it. So that's why you need to start with the right foot, and we're gonna give the benefit of the doubt. But anyway, I have to wrap this up. We have a live stream at 9:30 with my friends. I was about to say Big Panther, Big
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 Panther.
Bretta, Joao. Third party reviews. is
Well,
having a
that's what
show.
it could be called this week.
I know. At 9:30 p.m. Eastern. So after this, you know what to do. You're gonna flip over there. So closing thoughts, brother Cassis. Thank you for coming. What's going on your channel, my friend?
Oh wow, we're doing this morning we did Good Morning Grails on we opened up the Terminator I'm not sorry, not Terminator, but RoboCop and Alex Murphy 2-pack. That was a real great. We have another one coming next on Saturday. We're doing a Good Morning Grails. That one is going to be the Terminator Tech Noir. So we're going to be doing that one. Best of the best on Thursday. Hope you guys can join me for that. That's going to be awesome. That's going to be a great show on Thursday. I also have just spent. I may have to film it again because I don't like the wiring. I got wires all over the place, but I'm doing a collection tour. I may have to film it again because I just want it to be perfect for you guys. So I'm doing that. That's coming out pretty soon. And any news, anything that drops, I'll be there to cover it. That's it for me.
Beautiful. Shane, thank you so much for making it tonight, my friend. I know you're in Ireland. It's like what, like 6 hours ahead? So right now it's like what, like 4 o'clock in the morning?
No, it's not too bad. It's like no, have to. That's not too bad.
Okay, so it's not bad. So,
Okay.
man, thanks. What's going on your channel, my friend?
First of all, thanks for responding to like all my harassment, and I really have to shout out to Fabio, like, you know, for helping with the forged documents. I really do appreciate that, man. Like, you know, and I'm looking forward to his next posing video. And sorry, man. I feel like I've met Fabio once or twice now, so we can make little digs at each other. But I really do appreciate with the forged documents, despite my expired visa. This Thursday I'm on Collecting Weekly with Only Fools and Collecting. So they're based on they stream like kind of Greenwich Mean Time. Like I think it's 8:30 on Thursdays. So that's Ian and Pete. So they're really good guys. They like collecting and they swear a lot. So, you know, I like them. Then on Sunday on Collectors Lounge, I think that's 12 p.m. New York time. That's just like midday New York time with on Lael's channel and Killicam as well. So, you know, they're always looking for new people around the globe who want to join, but you have to wear flannel and a beanie. That's just them's the rules. Yeah, look, if you want to check out my channel, I do pre-order previews. I do kind of figure focus posed up, just very, very quick videos, and some collecting, you know, displays and tips. So it's 3 main playlists. It's 1/6 Figure Focus on YouTube or on Instagram at 1/6 Figure Focus. And again, thank you very, very much for allowing me in the channel, and very nice to meet everyone. And you should definitely sub to Andrew James. He's new, he's getting started. He's got that lovely clean display. I'm very, very jealous, and it's like twice the size of mine, so I'm feeling a little bit intimidated, man, you know.
No, but
Thank
thanks for no, thank you, my friend. Andrew, thanks for coming. I know this is your first time live, so kudos to you, man. You hold it like a champ. Love that. Really like the collection, man. That background looks clean as hell.
Muted.
You're
Andrew,
muted.
you're
You're
muted,
muted. Just so you know, this is the muting. Yeah,
Man,
we all make the same mistake. Don't worry.
It's all good.
sorry
But I
about the
know you have a
technical
channel. So
difficulties.
what's up on your brand new channel, my friend?
Hopefully next time I don't piss myself doing these live streams. I was super nervous. Had technical difficulties in the beginning, so I'm sorry about that.
No, no worries.
But my channel, I should be doing a collection video, and I hope to be doing some like unboxings and like reviews and stuff. Once I get Jay's Ghostbuster sets, I'm gonna review that and then do my collection video. So he's gonna sell it to me, I heard.
That must be
Jay's
the
like,
Space Pimp. The Space Pimp is making deals behind my back.
I know.
But yeah,
Mr.
that's all.
Yeah, man. No, appreciate you, man, for being here. I know we talk from time to time, so thanks for making it. Mr. Dr. Foxwell,
Oh,
thanks for joining us today, man. What's going on in WILLFOXIFICATION world?
Dude, all I can say, Dante, is thanks so much for having me, bro. It's been a while. Like I said, I've been dying to come back, and had to have you on this most recent Sunday. So, dude, hopefully we can connect again soon. And so there's what's it called? Lights, Camera, Collect every Friday. I do that at 5:30 p.m. Eastern now. So that's always a good time right when I get out from work. Not sure who's going to be on this Friday, but we're going to figure it out. Then there's the Collectors Mingle every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So that's always a lot of fun. And yeah, no idea who's going to be on that this week either, but that's going to be in the future. I'm doing, for one, Lights, Camera, Collect is always on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, so you can find it on there if you want to listen to it. I've been doing game streams. Those are a lot of fun. I've been streaming through The Last of Us, so that's fun. And Optical and I have been playing this game where we break out of prison together. So that's been fun. And we do other game streams. So all that kind of cool stuff, gaming, collecting, whatever, all on my channel. So thanks so much for having me, Dante. I appreciate you, man. And as always, you're one of the real ones, bro. So, I got a lot of love for you.
Thanks. No, it was always fun to have you guys. Mr. Mafia, man, I know that you spoke your heart, and again, all your points are 100% valid. So it's fun when we have this type of conversations because we're collectors at the end of the day. When we turn off this camera, we talk about this crap, collecting and figures and pre-orders. Do you get it? Are you gonna get it? What happened? Where do you get it? All this crap. T-dubs. But anyway, what's going on, my friend, at your channel?
No, of course. Well, first, obviously, thank you for the invite as always. And secondly, any people watching should know, yeah, we're all friends, man. It doesn't matter. We have differences of opinions. Mine's right, theirs isn't. That's okay. You know, we can.
We have different opinions, but Will is wrong. But
At the end of the day, though, we all get along.
I'm done.
It's just,
I'm done.
Nah, I'm just
Like,
I'm
I'm
playing.
done.
You know,
Nah, I'm back. I'm over it.
You know, but it is. It's valid. It's a valid. You know, everybody, the people who need it needs a voice, and I'm there on that one because I believe it. Anyway, it doesn't even matter. That's what's the whole point. We all get along anyway, having civil discourse. What the hell's going on my channel, dude? I mean, you know, news, morning shows. My live streams are Saturday nights. You know, my main ones with the panels. I finally started doing a Star Trek show, which is awesome. So it's me, Denobi, and Robert Meyer Burnett. He couldn't make it last night because he was actually watching Star Trek in the theater. But that's gonna be really cool if you guys are into that. And you know, I normally don't like plugging it, but I am doing a giveaway, dude. For my channel members over there. I just happen to have a Hellboy that was, you know, gifted anonymously to give away. So that'll be happening at the end of the month. Other than that, just rocking, bro. You know, again, thanks for having me here.
oh man, thank you for being here tonight. And what's going on my channel? Well, we have another live stream on Friday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We have a live stream for members only on Sundays, so you better stay tuned for those because we really talk about deep topics, man, and we get a good feedback on those shows. So make sure if you want to become a member, hit the join button or the link in the description below. The live streams and special shows is for premium members only. So you know, check the packages. It's really not that pricey, but you will get. I think you will get a lot for your bucks. You know, it's fun. We always have like good people on the shows. And I have the unboxing review of Darth Maul, so check it out as well. You know, it's kind of like a funny release. I want to give a shout out to Easy Company Collectibles, Fabio from FABSFIGURES, Desi, Joao, my friend Sergio from Jamaitos, which we're probably gonna get another stream together soon, so we're working on that. Aries, Cisco Cantina, make sure you check him out as well, ciscocantina.com. P-Rock. And if I'm forgetting someone, please forgive me, because you know, it's so many good people that I know. So it's difficult to remember all those names because there's so many people. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you, panel, for being here tonight. And as always, don't forget to go to my friend Joao, Big Breda live stream coming right now. I'm going to be there for a few minutes. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, be well and see you around in the next video.